que pasa? Bienvenidos a más un Atomcast internacional. Yo soy Leonardo Romeo, diseñador industrial y gerente de diseño en Tech Electrodomésticos aquí en Madrid. Y hoy hablamos con Alireza y Javad, co-founders de Fancy Van Gogh de Lisboa, Portugal. Let's go for one more episode of Atomcast, and today a very special episode, no? Where I can say that we will dive in a really interesting story, no? That goes far beyond art. I think it's not only about art, no, but it's maybe a story of a vision, a collaboration, no, and why not transformation, no? So I think will be a very interesting episode today. And no, I would like to say thank you very much. No, we finally find a date to make this podcast after lots of no trying different days. But thank you very much, Alireza and Java. No, these are the guys behind, no, the minds behind the Fancy Van Gogh. No, we will understand now. No, talking with to then more, let's say, more details. What is Fancy Van Gogh? Why Van Gogh? And etc. No, so as usual, I would like to ask you, no, to tell us your story, no, the history behind this cooperation. This I don't know how do you call about the fence. No, since the beginning, since when you want to no to start the story till today, no, and then we will ask more. No, we'll have more questions during the episode. But thank you very much.
Thank you, Leonardo.
Thank you.
Alireza, please, you can start.
No,
Okay.
And just one comment here, no, just to explain to our audience, no, Alireza, both of you are both Persians.
Yeah, you're
yes.
both Persian.
Persian, really, no. Our first no Persian guest is here. Really nice.
Great.
I'm very happy. No, it's nice to see that. No, we are in a connected world. By the way, they live in Portugal. You see that Persian live in Portugal. Really interesting. No, came from Iran. No, it's really nice. And Alireza speaks a little bit English, but not fluently. And now and Javad will help us. No, during the interview, translating and try to help. But I think it's quite easy to will be very easy to understand everything. So you can begin, and you can share
Yeah.
the story. Don't
Okay.
need to be only Alireza and you, but you tell me the best way.
Okay. Let me just start to say hello to everyone. It's our pleasure to be here, me and Alireza. And it was a little bit difficult to set this time, so back
Yes,
and
yes,
forth,
long time.
all together. But finally, we are here, and I hope that it would be a nice session. We can discuss about many things, and what is more important for us is that we hope that we can have impact on some people, the young people, if they are just looking for to create their own journey, to start their own project, whatever it is. Probably, some of our experience and what we had before, what we did before, can help them. Because life is with up and down, and Fancy Van Gogh is the same. So let's see. We are, as you mentioned, we are both here in Portugal, and but the story was not started from here. I would say, and another thing that I need to say, especially for the people that they are listening later and they understand Persian, I'm not a good translator, so I'm gonna do. It's more, I will say whatever I like on behalf of Ali Reza, but part of that is because of the trust of Ali Reza. It's not. I'm not because he knows we know each other. For a long time. He knows me,
Okay,
and we had this experience before together in other meetings and events. So sometimes he knows that I'm saying whatever I want, but he's okay with that. So
okay,
don't
okay.
worry
He
about that.
accepted
Not
your
exactly. Yeah,
your
but I would
Google
like.
translation
Yeah,
side.
but the other important issue is that, of course, when you're talking about fancy food, something that I need to make it clear in the beginning is that I'm not an artist at all. I
Okay,
love artists. I'm working with them. Actually, I had this, privilege to work with Alireza for a long time, but I'm not an artist. So we will talk about that. So how
Okay.
what I'm doing here is is not directly about art, but I believe on art. I really believe on art. So we will discuss about it. But
No,
I
and by the way, no, Javad, we are talking about a collaboration, no,
exactly.
between an artist and a businessman, basically, no, a
It's not
strategic
exactly
man.
business,
So,
but we will talk about that.
well,
When you say beyond art, that I like that because it's really beyond art, and we would
great.
like to talk about how art can, help people for a better life. This is what we are working on. That this is our dream, me and Alireza, and this is where we started actually, especially. Fancy Van Gogh and the other project that we have that we can discuss about that. But I would prefer Alireza start is a story as an artist, how you start, and then we can talk about the other issues. So, Ali Reza, I think that you can start. How did you start your, work journey as a young, child, and then,
And then why you go? No, you
yeah,
went to
yes,
this art world,
yes,
no?
yes, yes.
سلام عرض میکنم خدمت همه مهمانان و شنونده ها. حالا ایناشو چیز نکنیم، بریم
But he's
ادامه
saying
بدیم.
hello to everyone, all the people that they are listening.
اون چیزایی که خب مربوط به کار مشترکمون بود به صورت مختصر دوست عزیزم جواد گفت.
He said that Javad just mentioned a little bit about what is in common between
من
us.
یک مقدار از خودم بگم، از چجوری اصلا وارد هنر شدم. من پدرم هنرمند بود و از بچگی خب دوست داشتم که شغل پدرم رو دنبال کنم، همونطور که همه بچه ها توی این سن دوست دارن که شغل پدرشون رو دنبال کنن.
So what he's saying is that his father was an artist. So when he was a
Okay.
child, he was looking to his father, and like most of the child on that age, he was trying to follow, this route, the family roots.
Okay.
از بچگی توی فضای هنری بودم و مخصوصا نقاشی و ویژوال آرت. بزرگ شدم، دانشگاه رفتم. توی دانشگاه خب رشته گرافیک خوندم و تا فوق لیسانس خوندم.
So he born in a, let's say, artistic family, and then he was
Ah.
always with the visual art, and then he studied in the university, design and graphic, I think, and then
Mm.
bachelor, and then he finished with the master in, with in graphic.
Ah,
در,
okay.
در طول اون زمانی که داشتم درس میخوندم با جواد با هم آشنا شدیم و یه مسیر جدیدی توی زندگی هم من هم فکر میکنم جواد ایجاد شد که تونستیم یه مسیر رو تا همین الان ادامه بدیم.
And when he was when he was a student, when he was a studied, we met each other, and we start something different that he believes that it changed a little bit in both of us. So we had this, let's say, when we met each other after that, it has an impact in our life, me and Alireza's lives, and then the way that after that we work together.
And where was this? And when you meet each other? No, when more or less, or and where? No, how was this? No, this
فکر کنم
this
25
moment.
سال
It's 25 years ago. It's more or less 25 years ago. Ali Reza was a very young person, actually. Really, we were both young. We are at the same age,
Of course,
but
of
we
course.
are almost same age. And then when I say very young, he was starting. It was a national newspaper that I was invited for some consultancy and supporting for the strategy and the other thing. And he was on that time working on the graphic part of the newspaper,
Ah,
and
okay,
also he was starting his career because you know that Iris started his career as a cartoonist. So he was doing the cartoons in a
makes sense.
famous magazines and newspapers. So he was doing this kind of job there. And then so we met each other just like the others that we met when we are doing this planning or strategic planning. But then it was a very important time in our life that we start to discuss about how we can use art. But it was, as I mentioned, it was in the newspaper. We met each other first time 25 years ago, more or less.
Great, great. And then just sorry, Alireza, you are making this comics, no, for newspaper that was very famous around the world. I mean, because in Brazil we have this. It was really usually, and by the way, usually in Brazil they use the comics. No, these guys are doing always something related with the news. No, you have some important news about politics or whatever, and they use, of course, this no this kind of notice to make some fun about, no, something fun about, no, is something like this you work it.
میپرسه که در واقع اینجا تو برزیل هم کار میکنن. وقتی شما شروع میکنی به عنوان یک حالا کارتونیست، یک کسی کار کمک میکنه، معمولا بر اساس اخبار و اینا باید هر روز یه چیزی رو بکشی و رسم کنی و دنبال کنی دیگه. این همین کاری بود که شما هم کردی دیگه، مثلا.
بله بله دقیقا همین بود. البته خب من بیشتر از اینکه حالا کارتونیست مطبوعاتی باشم، کارتونیست نمایشگاهی بودم. یعنی تو نمایشگاه چیز می‌کردم، فکر کنم چیزی نزدیک 40 تا جایزه بین‌المللی دارم، ولی اصلا الان مهم نیست بخوام چیز بکنیم. من بیشتر توی حوزه نمایشگاه‌ها شرکت می‌کردم، یه مدت هم خیلی جایزه می‌بردم، ولی الان دیگه داریم به جوان‌تر.
Okay, so what he's saying that yes, but at the same time he was very active because he was, for the exhibitions and for the usually these kind of festivals. He was very active on that time, so he was sending them.
Great.
And of course, this is not a translation. I'm saying for myself that because I remember that yes, it was about the news and political or something
Okay.
about, social or about sport, and he was you can always see in them in a very famous on that time newspapers or magazines something. And Alireza had a specific character that most of the people, when I say the people that they know him, they can immediately recognize that this is from Alireza. So it was something very clear for us
Great.
that when Alireza was on behind of that cartoon.
That
And of
character.
course he probably also, and if you go to the website you will see he won a lot of prizes around the world, so more than
Yeah.
40 different prizes around the world. And but nowadays what he's saying that is not any more active like before for this kind of festivals or competitions, and he's giving the space more for young talent people. So
Of course.
he's I don't want to use the word like retired, but at least
Okay.
he changed. He's working on something else now,
Oh,
less
something different.
like
Yes.
competition and festivals.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, it's clear. It's clear. Right. Sorry, you can continue, Alireza, with the story.
I'm Khaled
نه
Ahmed.
چیزی ندارم ادامه بدم دیگه، میتونم سوال کنم.
No, you're saying that this was just that, and then you can if there is any question, you can ask questions.
Okay. Okay. And so no, back to the story, no, Alireza. Then you meet each other, no, in this newspaper, no, environment, etc. And then why no you decided to join force.
Yeah.
It since the beginning when you start working together, you already started with the fancy Van Gogh, or
No,
you
no,
start
no,
with
no,
another topic, and
no, no,
then
no.
how
Fancy
how
Van
how
Gogh.
was
No.
this transformation,
We
no?
started this 25 years ago, but Fancy Van Gogh, I think, is just something with more or less 8 years Ali Reza, yeah, or even less probably before COVID. But no, it was 25 years ago. Actually, my background is, as I mentioned, is a little bit different. I start with engineering, in university, more curious about technology, new ideas, new projects. So I was trying to do something different from the normal trends in the market. And then
Okay.
I was on that time. It was the beginning of my career as a consultant. I was doing consultancy for different companies, big companies, and then we were doing strategic planning and this kind of things.
Okay.
Probably TQM, 5S, job satisfaction. These are the things that we were doing survey, and then we will support and help the management team to for the strategies. And then uh, all started from one day. I had a project. It was in Iran, somewhere in north, and I remember the day that it was a company that I was going by plane. I need to go in the morning with the early plane and come back with a flight and come back in the afternoon. So that was
Okay.
actually. And then we were doing some strategic management workshops for the people, and then all the workshops for the managers, top management. It was very good. Everything, they like it. It was nice. And usually it's more discussion, what to do, what is the strategy. But we strongly believe on that time, and still I believe that a strategy is always not something just for the top manager. It's something that it should go all into the company, so all the people should
Yeah.
be involved. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. So I remember that even we were talking about, if you go to a new company, if you ask somebody in the like a security, you need
Uh-huh.
to ask what is the strategy, what is your vision, and if they cannot say, something is going wrong. And then
Yeah.
we had some workshops for the laborers, in the workshop level, and then
Okay.
we did that. We invite all of them. So usually when you do that, the problem is that you need to stop. So it was a manufacturing company. They need to stop the line. They
Yeah.
were in a room. It was a theater, and then I start to explain, this is a strategy, vision, why we do that. It was, and after 2 hours of talk, then it was finished, and I was very happy as usual. So the feedback was good. Most of the people like it, and then it was a very nice person came to me and say, "Ah, professor, It was very interesting. But can I say something? I say yes, please. Just it was clear that he was guys gonna to say something different from the others, and he mentioned that.
Probably.
But to be very honest, we waste our time for 2 hours. Okay, and then
Ooh,
yeah, it was yeah, it was
was tough,
very
tough,
sharp. And
very
25 years
sharp.
ago, a young person was in the beginning of the career. It was what does it mean? And then you start but during this time we could produce x thousand more whatever. It was something that they were doing
Yeah.
something. It was a manufacturing for spare part of one of these
Okay.
car manufacturing company. And then I said, okay, thank you. Very nice. But then I was really all the way to the airport. And then because it was far from the airport, that it was a big industrial city, and then in the plane, and then go. Well, I was thinking that what does it mean? And probably he's right. We need to change the way. And I remember it was the day after or something like that that when I was going to that place that Alvarez, where I say, Alvarez, could you please just, I would like to have a talk with you. Then I talked with him, and this was the start point actually for this 25 years collaboration. I told him, Alireza, this happens, and it was something a little bit strange for me and very tough. But at the same time, I believe that some way they are right. And I was thinking, what is the solution? And then I have this idea that art could be a solution. And then you are very very because you can see the talent. And we Ali Reza talent, and he was very smart when you did when you are looking to his work. It was different even from the others. I know other
Okay.
people also in the same in the same place.
Yeah.
There were other people that they were working, they were cartoonists or but Ali Reza was different for me. And then you said, oh, let's start with something. And then we start with something small, like we had a project for jet inspection, then TQM, 5S. And instead of going and talking with them, we start to I was, and it was not easy in the beginning, because
Uh
imagine
huh.
we're talking about the concept which Ali Reza, it was new for Ali Reza, so I need to
Okay.
explain, and then we discuss, and then Ali Reza was coming with an idea, then we need to discuss if it makes sense or not. And so it was started like that. And then it was very well received by different communities, in the manufacturing companies, in the other companies, in the
Yeah.
municipalities. It was it was very welcomed. And then they said, wow, it's very interesting. So instead of going and talking with them with some animation, or let's say motion, some
Yeah.
cartoons, we tried to we call it edutainment. So it was a kind of educating them, but not the
Okay.
traditional way. It was more with fun, and with the cartoons. So it was quite successful, and I was very happy. We start, and I remember that every day in the I was in the month. I still remember the day. Every Monday in the afternoon, we were going to a
Okay.
room, 2 3 hours. We were discussing different things, the ideas about human resource management, and we were going to details. So we have all the things that we had in the management. We were discussing. So we did a lot of job. That was actually the start of the this idea, that how we can collaborate. And then it was very interesting, as I mentioned. And then one day, Ali Reza told me, Javad, it seems that this is something very nice. And uh, he told me about these kind of festivals, or this kind of cartoon competition.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
not to start something with a specific subjects? And then we developed this concept again together. Of course, then I invite some of my colleagues, and he also invited some of his colleagues, from the art
Mm-hmm.
world, let's say,
Art word.
art world, yeah. And
Yeah.
then we discuss what can we do, and then we start the first, we call it International Productivity Cartoon Productivity Festival. So it was different from all the others in the market at that time, because all of them, they were more either political or about
Okay.
sustainable,
The normal, no,
normal
the
ones.
normal, the average
But this
ones.
one it was very specific. So we were talking, and we had a theme. So, and then we start this, and then we say, okay, we start like all the things. We talk with some sponsors, bring people together, the jury. And this was the only
Interesting.
one in the world that we had a mix of two groups. So even the jury, we were a mix of people from, like the people that they were evaluating from the, art perspective,
Uh
from
huh.
that criteria. And
Yes. Yes. Of course.
so it was a mix of them, and then we started. So we did five edition
Wow.
internationally. We received the artworks, very very interesting one. I
Interesting.
remember that usually every year, every 2 years, we were doing that, and it was more than 1,000 original artworks, and then
Wow.
from 50, 60, 70 countries sometimes, and then we had
And always no something related, not only art, but also let's call business strategy, this kind
yes,
of thing. That
productivity, but
that is
specifically
productivity. Yes.
productivity. Yeah,
No, but I think it's really it's interesting this approach, because
yeah,
usually, and I think Alireza knows better than us, and lots of artists know around the world, because in the end artists it's usually the artist has a very puristic vision, so no, I need to make my art is pure, nobody touches, it's my how I interpret the world, etc., etc. But in the end it's very nice, it's a nice speech, but it's only fews, no, only a few of these artists receive wins money, pays the bills, not pay the bills, because in the end you need to pay, you need money, because I mean, but I want to be an artist. They say okay, and how no how to, and in this case you know you transform a little bit the idea, and then how to at the same time you have your no your vision, you are an artist, but you are also helping people in another way, no. It's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
really really
I would,
interesting.
I will say something, and then I will leave it to Ali Reza to explain from his perspective. But you know, uh, it was something more even than money. Leonardo. It was the impact that we could have on the society.
Of course.
So, for example, I remember when we were doing that, we in parallel uh, with the main place that we were. It was the exhibition, and it was with
Uh-huh.
with the award ceremony and everything. We had this discussion with the municipality. So the copy of the artworks we were presenting in 5 different places in the city, and we were using the bus. Even it was for free. It was not a money. It was
Oh,
just to put it, and the people can see, for example, the meanings of. Wasting this, wasting time. What does it mean? Synergy or the other one, and it was for. I can send you some nice pictures, even the books, because we have. Then we published the books of the, all the things like a
okay.
book and the other thing. And I remember that just 4 years ago, one of my colleagues sent me a picture from one of the municipalities there, which was still some of the artworks of Ali Reza was on the wall.
Oh,
Course, Ali
nice.
Reza probably he doesn't like because he told me, Javad, it's a very old one now. I'm
Oh,
using
but
a different
okay.
technique.
It's a story.
Was
It's
very
it's
simple
history.
thing. Like after 20 years, still on the wall. And then the concept was teamwork, synergy, these kind of things. And Ali Reza was doing that in a very simple way that all the people can understand. So you are going
Great.
to the room, just look it, you enjoy it, and you learn something. That was the main idea. So we
Great.
continue this in different ways. We were doing some other projects for, like Smart Syspedia for the kids, and the other one. And then Alireza start to work on the Fancy Van Gogh, which I stop here, and then we will come back again, because then I left for my postdoc, and then I was visiting professor in the other universities. And on that time when he started, I was not anymore with him. Of course, we were in
Ah,
contact.
okay.
Always, we were meeting each other, but I was in Lisbon, and Alireza was not here with me. But then,
Ah, okay.
then he has his own story how it came to his mind that how I can start this concept of fancy vanguard that is better. He explained about that.
And of course, I think it's the first thing that we want to know. You as an artist, of course, different artists, no, around the world. And I mean, Van Gogh, no, Van Gogh, no, how they call it in
Yeah,
the real. It's really difficult to say properly.
yeah,
But I mean, it's still. I think it's one of the most pop icon nowadays, considering all the old, very famous artists. But at the same time, you are doing comics. That's really different from. I mean, it's not. I mean, there is something related with Van Gogh, but why Van Gogh? Why you decided no, Alireza, to? No, I think I like Van Gogh because I don't know why Van Gogh in your why you choose Van Gogh.
این تقریبا سوالی که من تقریبا هر روز از من dارم میپرسن، تقریبا بدون استثنا.
this is the
صرفا
question
یه
that
علاقه شخص.
this is the question that Iris is saying, that this is the questions that almost every day he is explaining that. So it's it's
So we need to make this question.
yeah, we need to.
من امشب یه چیزی رو بگم که شاید تا حالا نگفتم، ولی خب بد نیست اینجا بگم. من هیچ تعصبی روی ونگوک واقعا ندارم. یعنی تعصب منظورم این که بخوام از ونگوگ یک اسطوره درست کنم یا یک شخصیت فرا انسانی بخوام درست کنم، نه واقعا این نیست. ونگوگ صرفا برای من یک علاقه شخصیه، هم سبک زندگیش و هم نوع آرتش.
Oh, this is very difficult to translate. Yeah,
To translate,
but
okay.
this is something that he told me, that he mentioned that this is probably the first time that he's gonna to explain in this way.
Okay.
But of course, he loves Van Gogh. This is no doubt about that. But he's not looking to him with a bias, and he doesn't want to say that he was a superhero or superhuman. So
Okay.
what he's saying, that he understand that he was a human. You know what I mean? So
Very.
he's looking to the Van Gogh. He likes him. He loves him, but he doesn't want to say that he was a superhuman or something different. So he is looking to Van Gogh
As a human.
as a
As a
human.
human. Of
من
course.
اصولا دوست ندارم از آدم ها بخوام یه اسطوره درست بکنم. ونگوگ هم یه آرتیستی بوده که از نظر شخص من پر از ایراده، هم از نظر زندگی شخصیش، هم از نظر طراحی، هم از نظر نقاشی، ولی در یک موقعیتی قرار گرفته از نظر زمانی و مکانی که اومده نماینده یک قشری شده که این قشر به هر حال الان خیلی دارن درک میشن و دارن فهمیده میشن. و ونگوگ به نظر من یه آرتیست خوششانس بوده که بعد از اون همسر برادرش تونسته خوب پروموتش بکنه و ونگوگ الان شده ونگوگ.
So, like, what he's saying, that again, he's not gonna to say that he was a superhuman, and he's not gonna to, show him as a superhuman. He was like a human, like all the human. He did
Yeah.
mistakes in his personal life. Even he's saying about his design, or painting or something. So you can talk about that. You can criticize it. So he was a human, like all of us, with the good and bad things. So he's looking as a human, and what he said, that he was probably, but what is important, that he's representing a group of people, or a kind of idea that Alireza would like to support that. So this is the way that he's looking, and he was also lucky because his brother, yeah, what Alireza?
همسر برادرش،
So
زنداداشش.
yeah, so the wife of his brother was starting to promote him, and that was
Yes.
the way that he was getting famous. Otherwise, probably it would
Nobody
not,
would
yeah,
know.
nobody knows Van Gogh
Yeah,
as
yeah, yeah.
before
No, no,
nowadays. So
and I fully agree with you, Alireza. And Van Gogh, I think it makes sense because Van Gogh was a human. Of course, he's not a superhuman, and a very human because he had lots of problems. No, even illness. No, some mental illness. So it was a really problematic. If you go deep inside his history, he was a really problematic person. No, with lots of maybe questionings, and his brother died not some years after him. So I think, according, maybe you know better, according to history, he only sold one art, no, I think, to his brother, by the way. And then of course his brother wife makes everything, no, makes his a great artist, because
yes, that's
it's interesting. No, there's too many, and it's nice about Van Gogh. One thing that I like about Van Gogh is because of the letters that he exchanged with his brother. We know lots of things about Van Gogh because there are other famous artists that we know his history behind his art, but Van Gogh not only behind his art. Because of these letters, no, these letters that, and we have a something much more accurate. No, I would say.
yes, yes, yes. So Alireza,
من یه نکته بگم. ببین من شاید به عنوان یک آرتیست و اصلا به عنوان یک کسی که میخواد یه ایده ای رو، یک نظریه ای رو، حالا هرچند کوچیک و خیلی ناقص بخواد به مردم بگه، اگر حرف طرف خودم میزدم، خیلی از حرفایی که توی کارها زده شده شاید اصلا توجهی نمیشد، ولی اگر از زبون ونگوگ، حالا که از زبون ونگوگ داره این حرفا گفته میشه، به مراتب
us.
گیرنده های بیشتری داره
Yes,
و مردم بیشتر میتونن قبول کنن. در حقیقت ونگوگ اومده به کمک من، شخصیت ونگوگ، کاراکتر ونگوگ اومده به کمک من که من بتونم یک سری ایده ها، خیلی از حرفایی که توی کارها زده میشه میتونست آدم دیگه هم بزنه حتی اگه ونگوگ نبود،
so
در
what he's
صورتی که حالا
saying,
ونگوگ الان داره کمک میکنه.
yeah. So what he's saying that one point is that the message in Alireza's artwork that he's trying to just say and pass it to the society is using this character of Van Gogh because that's the one that the people will understand better and will receive better. So probably could use it in the other way, could use someone else, but this is the way that he believes that he can communicate. He can pass his message to the society, and they will receive those message because of this character in between. So it's like a mediator somehow that he can pass this message through Van Gogh in a better way, and the people will get it more and understand it more and receive it better. This is what he's saying.
Great, great. And of course, Alireza, no, start with the Fancy Van Gogh, no, the Fancy Van Gogh. Let's call Fancy Van Gogh project. And that time you are not together. You are kind of you
It
you
was
you
not
had
the name was not Fancy Van Gogh. The name was
ah
the Fancy
was
Van Gogh
Van Gogh
was when we
something
started
related.
together. Yeah, Alireza was starting. If you go to his Instagram page, Alireza starts some artworks about Van Gogh. So it was the as he mentioned about love, about because of course the way that I saw Alireza in this project on that time that there are many many values that he's trying because now I'm looking from my perspective. Alireza
Okay,
has some message he would like to pass it to the society. He's using this, the art. He's an artist, so he's using the artwork, but at the same time, he was smart and understand that with this character, it can be a better way to communicate and connect with the people. But when
okay,
you're looking to the start of the work, and now is still, but now it's more strategic because we have a plan. But at
of
that time, it
course,
was starting alone. It was passing the message that it was always with a value, with a value about something about humanity, something about happiness, something about, that when you are looking to Alvarez's artworks, you need to think about that. What does it mean? So, what is the message? So, it was full of message in those pictures. It was more comic on that time, probably, if you look at the Alirez's artworks before. So, because it's now a little bit different, but if you
uh
look
huh,
at that, it was a. So, then when we met each other, of course, always when I was traveling or we were trying to meet each other, have a dinner lunch. I think that this is something that we can do, and of course, he strongly believe on that. And he told me that, and I gave him this idea that Alreza, this can be interesting. It can be something beyond art again, because again, I'm not an artist, but I have something that I see.
of
This
course.
we can start to pass the message. And Alireza told me something that it was very important at that time. He told me, Javad, I can bet my life on that. So,
Strong.
yeah, because, I was busy with some other projects and to do start to invest your time and planning. And again, so we start just the idea. And then I suggest this name, and Alireza he likes the name and say, okay, let's put it Fancy Van Gogh. Then we start this project. Still, we were not together. Then I invite and he joined us here because it was easier to work together here together with it.
Of course.
And then it was start the concept of Fancy Van Gogh. So the Fancy Van Gogh, not with this name, but he already started that with some ideas, and he already told me. I don't know if he would like to open this also part. That this was he started that when he was alone for a long time in the room with himself. So he had this
Oh,
chance in a part of his life. He told me that he can think
okay.
more out of the box because he has many projects. He was a busy person. He was in a
Yeah.
managerial position. He was professor of university, but he put some times just to be alone in the room and think about, and then create this concept. And when he did this, when he had this new idea, and when you can, but the advantage of Alireza is that everything is in front of your eyes. He doesn't need
Uh-huh.
to talk. You can see. And when I saw his artworks, and then he came, and then when he told me, Javad, I can bet my life on that. It was a change movement. Then this is important moments. You are talking with an artist that you believe on him for a long time, and you
Right.
know how that his talent, how he's working, but at the same time is saying that he can bet his life on that. So it's a project that is gonna to invest on that his life. That
Of
was
course.
when we start officially to think about let's start Fancy Van Gogh. So we
as
as a brand,
a brain,
as a
no?
project, as a whatever you would
Okay.
like to call it. We don't know yet what to call it, because for us, we don't like to say this is a brand. We don't like to say this is
Well,
a company. We don't like to say this is a project. For us, is much more. I will explain
it's
about
much
it
more.
later. But yeah, Fancy Van Gogh
Okay.
go like this. So when we met,
And
and then
and
now
when you decided, then you are that time in Portugal, and then Alireza
join.
went to Portugal.
Yeah,
You
he
joined
joined.
you in
Yeah,
Portugal,
he joined
in
us.
Lisbon. No, you are in
Yeah, we are
Lisbon.
in Lisbon. We are both
Great.
based in Lisbon. So he joined us, and we start to work on these projects. It was not easy, from zero, from scratch,
I imagine.
in a country that, of course, we are not familiar with the language, and we were not with the
Sure.
same network that we had in our country or the other country. So it was not easy, but I think that at the end, if I look back to this, at least from my side, I also can explain from my side, I'm very happy. I believe that this is a nice legacy, and we had impact on the people, with the message that we are receiving, with the and at that time, don't forget, we were talking about the number of the followers, where we were talking about 1,000, 2,000 started.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was really the concept, and of course then it was developed, and now we are in a different, let's say, Champions League. It's a different
Yes, of
level, and
course.
we're
You
working.
you improve it. Lots of work behind, no? And also one thing that I would like to ask you, Alireza, is regarding let's go inside your style, no? Because of course you create, no, you start this Van Gogh, also using the Van Gogh brush strokes, no, let's say using the same, something similar. It's not the same. And what about the technology? Because I know that I saw some videos from you using some, like a tablet or something like that. But in the beginning, you already start in a digital way, or you start, no, using, no, brushes, etc., no, real material. How was this how's your, and do you have anyone that you prefer more than another, more digital, or something really using inks, etc., no?
الان قطعا الان ترجیح هم فعلا در حال حاضر دستی اورجیناله. دلیلش هم اینه که انقدر کارهایی که با ای آی داره تولید میشه که از محتوا، از نظر محتوایی، از نظر تکنیکی فوق العاده است، ولی از نظر محتوایی انقدر سطح پایینی دارن که ترجیح میدم یه مقدار از این حالت دیجیتال فاصله بگیرم تو سبک دیجیتال. گرچه خب اصالت فنسی ونگوک با همون کارهای دیجیتالشه، یعنی به خاطر سریع انجام شدنش، به خاطر تنوعی که میشه توی تکنیک های مختلف چیز کرد، خب قطعا مخاطبای بیشتری داره، ولی متاسفانه این ای آی یه ذره داره کار خراب میکنه
Okay.
دیگه.
What he's saying, that now he prefers more original work, more original art.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And the reason is that he believes that the AI is, it's not talking about the techniques or the other things. It's interesting, but it's without meaning, it's without content. And then this is something that he doesn't like. So that's why,
Yeah.
still he understand very well. It's easier. We can have more production. So Fancy Van Gogh was naturally started more with the digital artwork, so it was famous with the digital artwork. It was,
Yeah.
even in terms of businesses, it was easier to go with it, or
Sure.
digital artwork. But now he prefers to concentrate more on the other side. Means that more original artwork, because he believes that this is something a little bit different from this AI world and the mess that we can
Yes.
see now. But something that I would like to say is that, because of course, this is not something that Ali Reza just now is in this situation or position. It was not 3 4 years ago. This I can, because I was with him all this in the
All
journey.
this time.
So at that time, I was insisting him, and he was say always he was saying, "Ah, Javad, let me think about that," because I at that time I tried to convince him to start with original artwork, not
Okay.
me, just some of our friends also. But I was saying that, and of course I understand, because digital art will give you a lot of flexibility,
For sure.
and we can change it for different purposes.
Exactly.
It's different work,
Yeah.
for us, for business, for the other areas, for the licensing and the other thing was very important.
Yeah.
But but when you are looking to a person like Ali Reza, that He's a real artist. He's not something that, because I can do also art with the AI nowadays, but I'm not an artist.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what does it mean. What is the technique? And just to give you this, you will only understand Leonardo when you are going with him or with a person like him to the galleries or exhibition. Because of course, sometimes I'm going. I like this kind of exhibition. I'm going to the galleries, museums. But when others has a time, I would like to always go with him because we were in Madrid. We were in different places together here in Lisbon. When we are together, I really enjoy when he's explaining. That's a different story. When I'm looking from our perspective, some
Of course.
understanding, but
Of
he's
course.
looking in a different way, and so it's it's an enrich understanding and different understanding of what's going on. So, and I'm very happy. This is personally from me. I know that it's not easy for Ali Reza to do. At the same time, he's working. He's still working in digital artwork. He's doing the original artwork. But I'm very happy now that he's coming back and also do the same. And I
Yeah.
think that that's something that we don't have. So many people that they can do both with the same quality. You need to know the technique. You need to have this
Yeah.
quality, and at the same time do the digital work.
And the creativity, because the
It is very
creativity is
different.
yours. It's exactly.
Even the creativity, you can be creative, but you cannot, if you cannot paint with your hand.
It's impossible.
It's
Yeah.
another, this is important. So when you are looking to even digital work of Ali Reza, you need to always understand that on behalf of that, or on behind of that is better to say, on behind of that
Yeah. Yeah.
is an artist that he can do exactly the same with the original painting. So he's not using
Great.
that just to use the technology and just to thanks to nowadays, even for other arts, the singers nowadays, everybody can be a singer with so many technology. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But it's
Exactly.
the original one that somebody can go and without all of this technology for tuning.
Yes.
That's it.
No. The same with the
The
digital,
society
no?
should value that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. The same with the digital camera. No, everyone can be a photographer, but now
Ex-
and now some people are back into to roots also. No, using the analogical one,
exactly the same.
not trying
Exactly.
to reveal the film, no, as the old techniques. Because now it's so digital and so easy, and so many softwares that could help you to make a perfect photo. And in the end, it's too artificial, no. And even and we are not enter here in AI, that it's a word that we know that will help us a lot, but at the same time there is this kind of, no, that it's not unique, no, because I think the original art, that's one thing that comes from all these artists, that's this art is unique. You cannot, no, it's only one.
That's what I'm
If
saying.
you make another, of course the digital one, I fully agree with you that much better in terms of business reproduction, and also to flexibility. You can mix different ideas that you have, but of course it's it's
It's a
it's
different.
not so unique as a original one.
Exactly.
Like, nice.
البته نباید از اینم بگذاریم که خیلی میتونه AI به ما کمک بکنه، میتونه کمک بکنه، ولی من معتقدم فعلا نتونسته جای ما فکر بکنه، شاید بتونه کمکمون بکنه.
But he believes that the AI can help a lot, probably in future more, but so far he cannot do the same. So this.
No.
But he believes that probably in future it would be different because they can. But now they can help, but just help, not to be
Yeah.
replaced.
Not substitute. No.
No, no, no.
Exactly.
And then the other thing that also is important, and I would like Ali Reza to discuss about it, is the way that he was looking to Van Gogh also, because before
دکتر
working.
ببخشید صداتون کامل رفت دیگه یه ذره
Okay. So what I'm
صدا.
saying that, yeah, okay, okay. So what I would like to say is that Ali Reza has a different perspective to Van Gogh. The way that he's looking to this artist, because I had some ideas. I was looking, like all the people we have, we know about history. We know about the history of art, a little bit about the famous, who is Picasso, who is this, who is that. So
Yeah.
and Van Gogh also. But when I talk with him, when we start this discussion together, then he opens new perspective for me. That was when I loved this project of Van Gogh, and then we start to call it Fancy Van Gogh. But before we start to have a name for that, I love this project and I love the story that he has for the Van Gogh, because the way, because for example there are many people that they believe he was depressed, he was with the problem, mental problem, he was killing himself. I'm not saying, I don't want to dig the story and say if it's true or not,
Yeah.
but he told me one time that I would like he explained about that more, but he told me it's impossible somebody without love
Yeah.
create Starry Night. And that
You're right.
was wow. And then I had to look again to the artworks. I need to read again the story. I need to go back and see the movies, see the music, all the music movies about Van Gogh. I was starting
Uh-huh.
to look again, and to go through them because this was different. This is a different way. And he's right. You
Yeah.
cannot, you should be a different person. You need to be in love to create such an artwork like Starry Night, like the other ones. So
For sure.
so it's not just about the message, it's not just about the thing, it's about the way that Alireza is looking. So I would like to, that's what I'm insisting that, because this, I think this part of Alireza is not very well known. Okay, that's why I would like to you know,
Okay.
put light on that. He's an artist, of course. There is no, everybody knows that because you can go and see all the artworks. But as a human, the way that he's looking to the art and the way that
Sure.
he's looking, that is Ali Raza is different, and the people just can feel it in his artwork, but he never talk about that. He's a little bit humble, not little bit. He's a very humble person. And this is
Mm-hmm.
something that I'm here to explain, and I'm here to talk about that and mention that this was the story that he had from Van Gogh was the one that I fell in love with. That, not just about the pictures. You know what I mean? So that was wow. It's different. We need to look at
Yeah.
this in a different way. And I
No, no.
believe that this is very important, for the project and for the future and for what we are doing actually.
No, no, really, really interesting because you're right. I mean, usually when we talk about Van Gogh, about the person, there is this problematic side. Is he has some mental something, etc., etc. But it's true, and there are some famous. I don't remember now any specific quote from Van Gogh, some sentence that he used to say to his brother, no, in the letter. And there are few of them related with love because in the end he always talked about that, and I fully agree. Like, how can a super problematic person could make something so spectacular in terms of no vision, color, etc. So make sense, makes sense. Interesting way, no,
Yeah,
of
it is.
looking.
It is. It's different way of looking.
Great.
Then you start with this, imaginary work like uh, meeting or let's say a date of Frida and Van Gogh. You know what I mean? So this is so interesting because it's when you look at the way that they are in the artworks of Alireza, they are meeting each other, they are giving flower to each other. This is very interesting. This is the way that,
یا تنتن و ونگوک که اصلا
Oriana,
خیلی
he
اصلا
worked,
یه چیز عجیبه.
or Tantan and Van Gogh. You know that he loves
تینتین.
Tintin. Sorry, they call in Persian we call it Tantan.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
So here they call it Tintin. Tintin. It's amazing that the way that he's also trying to connect these words together because he's inspired by that. And even here in Lisbon when it was a exhibition, I went with him. So he was like a child. He likes it. It was very interesting that he was looking for everything because all of us when we were kids, the
Tintin.
story of Tintin was something very important, and that was
Yes.
something that inspired him. So what I'm saying that, and it's important for us to pass this message that, of course, it's coming from Alireza, but we try to help and support to just, how can I say, put light on that in the world and just try to promote it. Is that in Fancy Van Gogh, we are not talking about the business. We are not talking about an image of Van Gogh. We have a message. We are talking about a world full of love,
Mm-hmm.
happiness, the way that you are looking. So if you go to Alreza's artwork, you can look at that for an hour and then you can understand it in your own way. And then go to the caption, you can see the way that he's trying to also, formulate all the captions and all the details. So I think that we need to work. So for example, when we are working with the license, selling license or the other. Of course, these are artists. We need to work. We need to.
Of
This
course.
is a life. The
It's
reality is that
normal.
we need to pay the bills at the end of
Of
the month.
course. Yeah,
But Van Gogh is, and the Fancy Van Gogh specifically is not for that. Fancy Van Gogh is something. If I want to make it, we really would like to have impact of the life of the people, and to help and support them for a better life, whatever is better life for you. We don't want to say what is better life, what is the meaning of that. This is not our job, but whatever it is, try to have your own understanding. That's why when you look at the picture, you can have your own understanding of Ali Reza's artwork.
yeah.
He's never
True.
trying to push his perspective from artwork and just
Uh-huh.
sell
Uh-huh.
it. You need to find yourself what is the story I'm behind of that.
Great. So you can say that you see, and I think I saw in some document from you that you see art as could be a tool for personal growth or even transformation in this case. Not only art, no, as a normal thing to see and they say, oh, I like it or I don't like it. No, it's a tool that helps people to when you it's something in this direction. You mean?
Definitely, yes, definitely. For me, probably Ali is an artist, Ali Reza, so he's more from the art side. But for me, definitely art for art doesn't make sense. For me, I'm not saying that is bad or good. That's something
No,
else.
no, no, no.
What I'm
It's
saying that for me, when I'm looking to art, is a purposeful. It's with the meaning. So we need art. I think that the world needs art, either music
sure,
or
sure, sure,
painting.
sure.
And when I say we need it, it's not just for sometimes you just try to say it's for being calm, being relaxed. No, 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 it's much more than that. It can help you for creativity. Now we are working in the on the projects, because we are working on a triangle. We call it health, art, and technology. Okay, this is
Okay,
now the focus of Fancy Van Gogh as a project that we are working with Alireza on that. We are working with some health center. We are working with some medical doctors with a group. And what is important is to help people again for a better life again. But this, we don't want to say what it is, but support them. So it's not just, for example, just to give you an example, we are
uh huh,
looking for, we are talking about 5 cents, okay? But
yeah,
we have sometimes, if we go and just Google it, you will find it. We call it 32 census. So we are trying to work on the projects that with the youth, as we did 25 years ago, just
okay,
very simply to pass the message of management to for edutainment. Again, we would like to do the same for educating people, for training people. That's why we believe on democratization of the art. That's why we are
mm-hmm.
working with the hotels. We are working with the shopping centers. In the shopping centers, we did, this exhibition, and they support us a lot. A lot. I don't want to put the names, but the
Okay,
people with the vision support us just because we believe. For example, the philosophy of shopping centers nowadays is not to go there just to buy because we can do online. is
yeah,
is another thing. And the old models, the old patterns, like to have a pattern like a utility function, like just cinema, food court. We need something more. And imagine it could be where you can connect it with art. You can be
sure,
in a different places and learn and to have a better feeling and to have a better understanding, be in love, feel love. This is what we need. And in this life that we have full of technology, everybody is looking to the mobiles. I think more and more
of
we need
course,
to go in that
of
direction.
course,
So
of
this is the
course.
way that we are looking actually.
And do you? And I mean, I fully understood your idea in very I would say honorable no way to show and to let's say sell, but not sell in terms of money, but to sell or to show the art of Ali Reza. And of course, people could be inspired here to make no or to go in the same direction. But at the same time, how it's easy to you to measure the results of this searching, because of course you try to no you are trying to make a really big impact on people, on people's life, that it's come on really interesting. But at the same time, how do you it's there any way to measure it, these feedbacks or the results? Do you have any anything to tell us or to comment
Alireza,
about?
do you want to, would you like to talk about that?
من متوجه نشدم
اینه که
چی.
شما این علاقه که دارید به این جریان و این کاری که دارید میکنید و میگی تاثیر بذارید رو زندگی مردم، چجوری اینو اندازه گیری میخوایم بکنید، چجوری میخواین چش کنید؟ میخوای شما توضیح بدی یا من
نه
توضیح
شما بدین، این تخصص شماست.
بدم؟ Okay. So, Leonardo, the way that I would like to, because this is now my job in a university. We are working
Okay,
on that.
okay.
This is what I'm teaching for a long time. Measurement is something that is part of,
Now we,
teaching
have
for
the
PhD students for a long time. Okay.
the
So actually, we have two ways to do that. One, I would like to say qualitative, and the other one is quantitative. The
okay,
qualitative
okay,
way is that the feedback that we are receiving, the message that we are receiving, the people that when you are in a shopping center and then I remember that it was some people that they were coming. Alireza, he was signing with them, and don't forget that Alireza is not just a figure like a celebrities or something, but they were sometimes crying that when they were talking with Alireza. So this
great,
feeling was something that makes all of us happy. We were
for
we were
sure.
so happy and we were proud of what we are doing when we had this. On when or I remember we had a workshop for a group. I don't remember the name, but it was a group of Indian people that they invite us, and we were together. And what we tried to let's say and what we tried to sell, it was that it was about the book of Ali Reza. We have a book of
Ah,
all the
yes,
artworks of Ali
a
Reza, and then
great book, by the
yeah,
way.
thank you.
Great book.
So, and then we try to say, look, don't try to just look at that as an art book. Try to find your story about that. And we did some practice together. We show one of them and say, how do you think about that? And the people were talking, and it was something very amazing between all the people. Imagine that it was a picture, and the people were talking. I look at this, I'm looking. It was a very very young lady.
Hmm.
I remember probably around 12, something like that. And she was by chance on that meeting. I don't know why. Probably it was a parent and he was somewhere nearby. She would like to listen, something like that. And she started to explain it in a totally different way. Then we were all quiet because that was the best story that I can imagine from that picture. So this is what we need, and this is the way that we are looking. But of course, there are other ways that we would like to measure, and that's why we are working now with different groups in
Okay,
terms of technology, because probably you know about that, but for the people that probably they don't know, we develop a concept, we call it Fancy Van Gogh mental spa, which is all it's not immersive as the usual one that you have now, you can see in the market. So they are usually something ready to go. It's very interesting. I personally love it. Me and Ali Reza went together here, but it's different. What we are doing is that you can sit in a room, of course, with all this 360, and you
okay.
can recreate your own artwork. So
Oh,
you will do your own. You can select your music. You can enjoy all the time in a room with everything. And this experience is a totally different experience. Of course, everything is coming again from Alireza. So it's like you Alireza created all the objects, and the
okay.
combination is a few thousands combination that you can use. You can
You can.
you can say I would like to be night, day. I can send you later a movie, and you can show for your
Great, great, great.
also people that what does it mean exactly when I'm explaining. Instead of our picture, you can use that.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
then you have a controller that you can recreate the artwork for yourself. So
Okay,
this project is launched. We had some two prototypes so far in the exhibition, and we are gonna to implement it in a hotel very soon. And what is important now, we are working with the people that they are working on health and technology to see how we can measure it. Because what is important, we need to find how we can measure the emotion, how we can measure the level of stress, how we can these are something important. In the recent exhibition that we had in Madeira, they invite some people even from with some not very healthy, let's say. And then the feedback was very good. They really say it was very interesting for them. The people, when they were in this room, it was calm. So for the elderly people, we can help and support them for many things. So what we are doing is that, as I mentioned, first of all, we receive this with the that's why I really love when the people start to say something, because for an artist like Alireza, is important your support, and your support It's just
Sure.
simple as saying, what a work, you know. When you put a like, it's just a click. But Ali Reza can understand that if you love this or not, this is the way that he measures, you know, this. But for me, in the other side, we are trying to use all of this technology. We can use the camera now, we can use the voice now, we can use, so we have all the technology there. We need to find a solution for the privacy and the other thing, of course, always following the
Okay.
rules and, you know,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
But now I can say that we have these technologies that we can evaluate and measure, at least in this level, not in a very high level. But if somebody in the room, for
Great.
example, you know, we can reduce the stress, we can have some
Yes.
impact on something. This is something that we are working, and I'm very happy because just Fancy Van Gogh is not anymore just cartoons and other on Instagram. We are developing this concept together.
It's an immersive experience with Fancy Van Gogh.
Yes,
And then at the same time, you pass no, some
yeah,
time
with
alone, some time
health, with
relaxing.
mental health,
Yeah. Yeah.
mental
Yeah.
well-being, which is one of the most important problem nowadays, you know,
For
we are
sure.
dealing with, you know, when you're
For
looking
sure.
to the numbers, when you're looking to the cost of the societies for that. So imagine this could be a kind of small help, but a help for some people
No,
get back to
you're
the
right.
normal life, or enjoy their life, or, you know, reduce their tension, the working with the very stressful days that we have. So
Sure.
this is what we are trying to do actually.
Great, great. And no, no, really. And I was remember now some trend some years ago, a trend that people are buying, this kind of, I don't know how they call it in English, like these books to color. No, they put some drawings with number, and then you can put colors. Because
Yes,
I think it's totally different because you make something much more immersive. But it's
yes,
the same idea, no, that people could
yes,
just put color on drawings, like a child, no, like back in,
yes,
no. But
yes,
at the same time, you are thinking, no. I think the most important thing is you need some people need some time to thinking, let's say, in nothing. No, it's of course you are thinking, so you are concentrated, but you are outside of the world, not looking your mobile. That's really a problem nowadays. No, everybody's almost addicted to this. But at the same time, we are concentrate. No, you kind of playing an instrument or doing some art. I think that's really, and it works as a medicine. No, in the end, it's like a medicine, but
exactly,
much more. It's healthier than a than
exactly.
than
And
some.
more and more, we need something like that, you know, to be disconnected from our mobiles, from and
Sure.
then, for example, this mental well-being spa, this Fancy Van Gogh mental well-being spa, is a place that you can go with your family, sit together, and then change it and see, you know, enjoy the music, enjoy the
Great.
pictures, change it, and just be relaxed and enjoy. And I think that you know, this kind of project is something that motivates us, you know. So, and
Great.
we hope that we can develop more, we can go with what we are trying to do. And this is in the nature of our collaboration with Al Reza for last 25 years. We don't want to repeat ourselves, you know. We are not happy to say, okay, this was successful, let's do another 100 of the same, you know. We copy paste. We had the experience of, you know, that we had this experience of working with the hotel, for example, to decorate the room, then with the VR, now with the, so we are always trying to see what else we can do, something new. And of course, you know, Ali Reza, just looking from the again, from as an artist, you can see the artwork, but
Yeah.
Ali Reza is
Yeah.
not that. His creativity is much more than just what you can see in the pictures or in the painting. He's a person with a creativity in different ways. So
Exactly.
he's a guy that is thinking out of the
Uh
box,
huh. Uh
out,
huh.
you know, at layer. So that's why we are working together, and I think that more and more we will come with more different projects in future, hopefully, and we are continuing that. Let's see.
No, no, and there is another, uh, let's say, another parallel of what you're talking. No, it's true. Creativity is something that in the last years, no, the business areas, industry are looking for. And one example, I came from, from the design world. It's also about creativity. No, we need to be creative, and how this. You remember when they start talking about design thinking? No, these
Yeah,
guys in US start talking about that, and then nowadays there are lots of companies, no, doing this, no, this using this design thinking process, because in the end it's about creativity, and people needs to be creative, no, needs to be different, because unless you're gonna make the same thing, and it works for, no, it's bad for all types of business, no, or in your life also. Sometimes you are doing the same thing. Sometimes you need to not to open no the vision
Exactly.
and try something different. No,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
great, great. And what about no? I think I don't know. What about future projects? Can you say something, or everything is under no under
No, no, no. We
construction?
can
Let's
talk
say
about that. We can
what's
talk about
what's
that.
what's you are expecting no for the future for Fancy Van Gogh.
Yeah, Alireza, would you like to talk about that, or I should? برای پروژه آینده چی فکر می‌کنی؟
خب برای ما فعلا تمرکز اصلیمون رو گذاشتیم رو همون منتال اسپا دیگه، یعنی داریم رو خود منتال اسپا فعلا تمرکز میکنیم و به علاوه اینکه یه مقدار داریم کارهای چیز رو انجام میدیم دیگه، میبریم به سمت کارهای اورجینال و دکوریشن و کارهای بزرگتر توی ابعاد بزرگتر. فعلا داریم توی این چیز میکنیم. حالا یه سری ایده هم داریم که فعلا بهتره که عنوان نشه تا یه پخته بشه بعدا.
So what is saying that more or less what I can say is the same, that of course the one that we are more investing now, our time and the team and everything, is about mental well-being and health.
Great.
This is something that we really believe on that, and I think with the artworks of Alireza and with the technology that every day is getting better and better, I think that it's something that we can really help more and more people on that. Also, we are changing a little bit the direction to see if we can go and connect the things in a bigger scale. So when you are going to, for example, like imagine that you are going to your house and everything would be connected from the kitchen to the
Yeah.
thing. So all of them, imagine with the kind of, not exactly the fancy Van Gogh as a fancy Van Gogh, but the fancy Van Gogh style and theme,
Uh-huh.
everything be connected, and then you can enjoy your life, and it will give you more relaxed time when you are going. And then the other thing, so we are working on that in terms of business, and there are some ideas that we are working still, but is not yet finalized.
Okay, no problem.
So, no, it's not a matter of just not saying, because it's for example, for education we are working in Rumi School of Life, we are working on that, for educating the people again, get back, but in a different way. So the idea is that how, because nowadays, most of the people, they don't have time, the young generation, they are the generation of Instagram, just going very fast,
Yeah,
and these are the things that will have an impact on the people. There are many
sure.
many studies. If you go and look at that, we had some meetings with different
Mm-hmm.
hospitals around the world and the teams that they are working. So more and more our mind is gonna to be on that direction. When you are just doing Instagram and just go like this, it will have an impact. Even the way that you're looking to
Total,
your environment, you are losing
total.
the
Yeah,
data from your environment. So
yeah,
we are trying to use this kind of artwork and technology again to see how we can educate people in different ways. So, and we have
great.
some other projects that we are working, and again, art, I think that is something that in the last 25 years, every work that I had with Alireza, I'm happy with the result, and I more and more believe that this is the best way for educating people, for training,
Sure,
for a better
sure.
life, for mental health, for all of these things, for improvement and growing. So we are looking just for the ways that how we can do that. Sometimes we can do it with the picture, sometimes a mix of picture or with the technology,
Of
sometimes
course.
with the concepts that we are doing. So
You are
this is what,
find not the best way to attack, let's say, to solve this
exactly.
this problem.
So as
No,
I
great.
told you, the story started 25 years ago with a very sharp criticize that you
Yeah,
waste
yeah,
our
yeah,
time
yeah.
for 2 hours. But
Exactly.
I should say thanks to that guy because it changed my life.
Yeah, you're right. You're
I
right.
don't know about Alireza, but for me it was very interesting because then it was a start point that I talked with Alireza. We had this discussion. We start with some small project. One day,
Great.
if I can give you the pictures from 25 years ago, you will see what I mean. It was very
Okay.
simple one. I will send some of them for you to understand what I
Yeah,
say. It
yeah.
was very simple, like 2 plus 2 is more than 4. This kind of things that,
Yes, but in the end, it works. No, it's a different way
yeah,
to show the
yeah.
same
But
idea.
and now we are more and more moving, and I hope that then always the support of the people is
Great.
just the best support. When I say support, the way that they are supporting or the way that they are following, talking, messaging to us is a motivation that, okay, it seems that we are in the right track. Let's go ahead. Life
Okay.
is not as easy as it's up and down. Sometimes it's a project. Sometimes me and Alireza, we are not in the same platform. We are fighting with each other. We are angry of each other. What I would like to say is that don't make it something, like the life is never like that, something super
Yeah,
efficient
yeah,
without any
yeah, yeah.
problem. We
You're
have a
right.
problem. Sometimes we don't agree with each other.
As
Sometimes
usual.
he's angry with me, stop doing something. Sometimes I'm angry, I'm not. But what is important is that at the end we overcome the problems, we try to solve it.
Exactly.
We try to, okay, now you're right, I'm a little bit changing my mind. He sometimes say, okay, Jawad, I will follow you, although I'm not 100%, but at the end we are working. So this partnership is like all the other partnership. We are not the same. We have a different perspective, sometimes totally
But
different.
I think that's the good thing here, no?
This
Because you
is
are
exact.
always
That's
crossing
why
and
I
try
would
to
like to
build.
send this message to the people, that don't give up. That's what I would like to say. Don't
Exactly.
think, oh,
Exactly.
this guy I'm working is not. We have a different. Of course, this is good, because if you are thinking in the same way, that then there is no value added. There is no synergy. The value added of this collaboration and partnership is that we have a totally different perspective. Totally,
That's
we are working on a
the
different. We have a different mindset. The way that I'm
exactly.
looking, when we are going to the meeting together in a project, we are coming out. We have totally different, even understanding, even the story. But we try to go
Yeah.
talk and talk. So some days, probably you cannot believe. Some days we are going. You know that Lisbon is. We have a very nice ocean that with nice places.
Yes, of course.
Sometimes we need together 5 6 hours in a very busy days. We have other projects, we have meeting, but sometimes we need to stop, go together, and
And
just talk
go
with
and
each other. Talk with each other, because we need to understand each other. I have
yeah,
a different perspective. You have a different perspective. Sometimes it's not the same. So what I would like to say, this is the best way to if you want to look at in a different way of and do different kind of partnership. The best is that your partner not to be exactly as you, similar
as
to
you
you,
needs to be
different.
different.
Yeah, and sometimes the life is up and down, but you need to solve it. You need to find a way and go ahead with them.
And I have two more questions actually for you and for Alesa. You can choose. What kind of advice would you give to young or even no old artists who want to expand, no, also as Alireza, their work, no, but of course expand beyond the traditional work, no, the traditional, let's say traditional art, no, and maybe in something more impactful, no, as you made. What is there any advice that you can say to this artist?
So علیرضا this is for you. شما بعد
من
بگید.
متوجه نشدم چی
میگه
گفت.
شما ادوایزت یا نصیحت توصیت به این جوونا، به این بچه های آرتیستی که میخوان این راه رو چیز کنن، اینا چیه در واقع؟
آه.
It's a good question.
اه، فقط کار کنم، فقط باید کار کنم، به هیچ وجه نباید ناامید بشن.
Just
و
work
زمانی که
work and work and never
Work
give
and work.
up. Work
Exactly.
and work and never give up.
زمانی که توقعشو ندارم یه دفعه میبینن یه اتفاق افتاده،
And
اصلا دنبال اون اتفاق نباشم، اون اتفاق خودش میفته.
don't uh, don't seek for something, for don't don't how can I say, don't try to just follow something and seek for something. It will come by itself. Just do
Okay.
your job, work hard, and someday, one day, when you don't expect it, it will happen. Sometimes it will come when you don't expect it. Don't try to just work to find it or seek something. Just do your work, it will come to
Do your work well, trust in yourself, and then things
you. It
will
will come
come.
to you. It will come to you.
Great. And the second question, I think, is the probably they already made this question for you, others. I don't know, but if Van Gogh were alive today, what do you think he would say about Fancy Van Gogh? What if you say, Van Gogh, did you saw the Instagram of Alireza? What do you think about that?
بهش چی میگفتم؟
نه اون چی میگفت؟ اگر ونگوک میمد کارهای شما رو میدید، فکر کنی به چی میگفت؟
دست از سر من بردار.
He's saying that no, he's kidding. He's saying that he will say, just I would like to get rid of you. Don't play with me more, let's say.
Okay, or the opposite way. No, what he would say, or what you would like him to say. No,
What
probably you say, okay, I love it, your art, but
but شما
نه
چی
ولی
دوست
واقعا
داشتی
توقع
بدونی؟
داشتم تشکر کنه از ما، از مجموعه فنسی ونگوک، چون من فکر میکنم مجموعه فنسی ونگوک خیلی از آدما رو با ونگوک و با نحوه زندگی ونگوک آشنا کرد و نگاهشون رو نسبت به ونگوک عوض کرد.
What he's expecting, and he believes that it will happen, is that he could or he should say thanks to Fancy Van Gogh, because Fancy Van Gogh helps a lot for a different understanding of Van Gogh
Sure.
life and the way that he's living. And so he believes that Fancy Van Gogh could change the perspective of the people to Van Gogh. So he believes that probably that would be something that he can be appreciative of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And I believe this so really, Leonardo. I believe that I think that to present Van Gogh with a different style, or not just a
Perspective
style,
also.
yeah, with a
Yeah,
different
that's
perspective, and to push a lot on this love, and you know the beauty of life and this kind of things through the eyes of Van Gogh. I think that
uh-huh.
Fancy Van Gogh somehow was successful to do that, and this is what we are receiving also every day.
ما توی فنسی ونگوک حرفایی رو از قول ونگوک زدیم که حرف دل خیلی از آرتیستا بود، خیلی از آرتیستا، مثل تنهایی، مثل فقر، مثل توجه نکردن، مثل که شاید ما به وسیله ونگوک این حرفا رو به بقیه مردم زدیم و آشنا کردیم بقیه مردم.
So what is saying that it was, if you go to through the Fancy Van Gogh artworks, you can see many messages. Many messages that it was probably
Sure.
what they would like to say to the people, but they are not saying about poor. How poor they are sometimes, how careless they are sometimes about the artworks in their time. There are
Yeah.
many things that they are message. They're very strong message that probably they couldn't say to the people, but we are talking about that, or we are somehow promoting or presenting that to the society through Fancy Van Gogh artwork. This is something that we believe on that. And the other thing that I would like to also just mention on top of that is that uh, what Ali Reza mentioned about just work and it will come. This is very important, especially specifically the young generation. Is very important for them to understand. Follow your passion. Follow what you love. You will only be successful if you do that, because Ali Reza is following what he loves. He could do many things.
Yeah.
He had a managerial position, so he could, uh, be a very successful manager. He was, because he had this experience. He was in a high position in some companies. I know that, but he sacrificed something. He sacrificed, something for the what he loves, and it's important in life to be happy. I'm not saying
Sure.
that money is not important. I don't like these type
No.
of things. Everything is important. But more than anything, you need to be happy. And to be happy is different from being rich, being successful, have a PhD, well educated, be in this country and that country. You can be anywhere in any situation and be happy. And to be happy, you need to do what you believe on that. So follow
Exactly.
what is the message inside your heart. Follow that and try to do your best. Again,
Yeah.
work
Yeah.
and fight for what you love, and one day it will come.
اینم دکتر بگین، من اینو شاید کسی ندونه ولی میخوام اینجا بگم، من 25 سال توی یه شرکت کاملا صنعتی کار کردم که هیچ ربطی به هنر نداشت. بعد 25 سال یه دفعه ول کردم و اومدم کلا گفتم برم دنبال رویاها و اون چیزی که دوست دارم.
So in parallel, he was working as I mentioned it for 25 years in industrial company, a pure industrial company,
Uh-huh.
with a position that probably financially. This is something that is not a translation. I know, because financially it was much
Yeah.
better. So one day he stopped that and follow what he loves.
What he loves.
What is follow his dreams. Let's say.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
Exactly.
important that you follow your dreams. uh, it's risky, and but always to be successful. This is very important, Leonardo, that again, I really would like the young people that they never give up, and they understand that change is costly. Nothing is
Sure.
for free, specifically change. So if you
Sure.
change, if you move on the other side, if you are different from the others, if you are trying to be different, you need to pay for that. Otherwise, you are like. So what
You're
is important that you should be looking in the society. If you follow everybody, you will be like 99% of the people. If you would like to be different, you need to go in a different way. It's not easy.
Exactly.
It's not easy.
No, never.
Financially, sometimes you will have a problem. Sometimes your friends, your family, they don't believe in you.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just reject you. But what is important that you believe on your dream and it will happen. It's just a matter of time. Never give up. Sometimes you don't know how close you are to the success.
To the
No,
success. Yeah. Sometimes
so
you are so
close,
close and then you give
so
up. It
close.
is.
You give
Oof.
up, and
And yeah,
and what is important is the legacy. At the end,
great.
poor or rich or whatever, we will live. I don't know, few years, and then we will go. But what is
Yes, that's
important
the
is the
problem.
legacy. So the
Yes,
legacy is
exactly. Your
important,
legacy, your life, no, live your
and you
life
should be
in.
happy, with yourself at the end. When
Exactly.
you are looking to,
Exactly.
when you are passing 50, 60, you look back and say, "Oh, I'm happy with my life." That's it.
Exactly.
اینا من بگم و تمامش کنم دیگه زیاد صحبت نکنم که ونگورد دیگه خودش دیگه نهایت سمبل فقر بود، ولی الان کاراش در حد چیز داره. این دقیقا همون نمونه، البته ما نمیخوایم خودمون رو با مقایسه کنیم، نه نظر هنری نه نظر فقر از هیچی، ولی کلا نمونه خیلی خوبی برای زندگی. دنبال رویاش رفت، تو زندگی خودش عیبی نداره، سختی کشید، زودم از دنیا رفت، ولی تأثیری که الان گذاشته رو زندگی آدما، من جمله همین الان ما نشستیم درباره اون داریم صحبت میکنیم، این خیلی تأثیر بزرگیه.
And what he's saying that you can just look at the Van Gogh life, his life, and he was poor, he had a problem, he died soon, but at the end, look, even we are talking about him, and there are many people's many things. So look at where he is now in the history. What is this
Yeah.
position? And
Yeah. Yeah.
that could be a lesson for all of us. So sometimes you are suffering, sometimes we are not gonna to compare, we are not gonna to say this is good or
Yeah. Yeah.
bad,
Yeah.
we're not in terms of art, not in but what is important, look, so something that on that time you believe that he was absolutely destroyed, bankrupt, but look now, and it's different, everybody is talking about him, we have this meeting thanks to him again, so it was Fancy Van Gogh.
Yes. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
at the end, it was without Van Gogh, it was not Fancy Van Gogh at the end. So look at the
Yeah.
impact that he could have for years and years and probably centuries after that. And this is something that I think is, and we believe is more important.
Great.
Okay.
Great. I mean, what can I say after all this speech? Come on, it's perfect. First of all, congratulations for for this. I cannot say that's a project, that's a company, whatever you want to call, but to Fancy Van Gogh, congratulations, and also congrats to your history. No, it's a very uncommon and also interesting history. No, with you, how I think it's a really good example of hard work. No, you are still doing that, and I say thank you very very much for your time and to share no all this knowledge and also this no this ideal no behind Fence Van Gogh and hope that we can know that people could be interested about that and look at we gotta leave all the Instagram web page whatever no and here and you can know if we want to contact direct with them or also no I think the Instagram no Alireza Instagram is fantastic you see
Yeah.
lots of I love it I always love it when the first time I saw I also love it I didn't comment I also love when you put Van Gogh with Frida Kahlo it's fantastic it's really really funny and also another icon no of
Yeah.
art
Another icon. And imagine a
but
smile on the face of a person that went
yes
into that.
yes
And
that's
the
what I
feeling on
feel
the
that's
heart.
what I felt
That's that's the best present I think for all of
exactly
us, and mainly for Ali Reza as a creator of this artwork. But I think the smile
exactly
on the face, the feeling on the heart is the best present for him.
exactly and thank you I don't know if you want to
No,
say something but
Ali
thank you
Reza,
very
do you want to
much
say something?
Thank you.
چیزی میخوای
thank
بگی
you
آخرش
you
یا
see
نه؟ Okay.
and
We
how do you
just
say
would like,
thank you in Persian
we have
مرسی،
different
ممنون.
ways, but merci mamnoon is more. Sapas is very Persian. Sapas is
آه.
very formal.
okay
But we say tashakkur is more like or merci, which is more French. But we are
merci is a
using.
little bit French
But
but great
sapas is the most Persian way I would say to say that. And I would like
great
to say thanks also for this opportunity. I think that is the first time that we officially share something public
great
about the story of Fancy Van Gogh. We sometimes in the meeting they are asking and we are talking about that, but this is the first time it's public, and I hope that we can again and this is the reason. Usually, Alireza is not a person for talk. He's always rejecting this kind of things. Unfortunately, I have the same problem. So we one thing is it's common between us, which is rare, is that we both are not very people that we would like to go to the events.
Uh
So because when they are inviting, we are not going. Both of them are always trying to be
huh.
on the backstage. But
Okay.
the reason that we accept this and we would like to say is that we hope that all at the end this you know uh, podcast or whatever we would like to call it at the end could help people to find their own way and try to sometimes just stop, think about that, what is the best for them. So I hope that we can help and support people on that and they can find their own way. We all need to write our own story. You cannot copy paste Ali Reza, you cannot copy paste Van Gogh, you cannot, but you can be your own. And this is
Exactly.
what is very important. And I hope that we can all go with this. And hope this talk can help people to think about that. Just stop, think about this.
For
Thank you.
sure. For sure.
Thank you,
Thank
Lord.
you. Thank you.